Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to NEFL TV. Thanks to our broadcast partner, Bar TV, Mark Kennedy and Bob Batty, joining you here for this Round 9 NEFL clash at the South Pine Sports Complex between the Brisbane Lions, the top side in season 2019 on the ladder so far, against the second-placed side, the Sydney Swans. It promises to be a really tremendous game, and just welcome to the call, Bob Batty. And Bob, number of different changes. These two sides met in round 5, and the Lions handed the Swans their first defeat. So we're going to see what the Swans can bring back to the table and reverse the situation.
Yeah, it only seems like yesterday, doesn't it? About 5 weeks ago, Lions 67-point winners over the now second-place Sydney Swans. They were both undefeated at that stage, and the Lions still undefeated. And I think today, with 18 rookie-listed and listed players, it might be a little too strong for Sydney with just a dozen listed and rookie-listed. So looking forward to it, Kanga.
Couple of new players for the Sydney Swans, courtesy of the mid-season draft. One will be getting underway here in the ruck, Michael Knoll, and the other one, Cody Hurst. Look out for them. First bounce, it goes the way of Knoll. Gets it down. Ballenden, though, for the Lions. Just brings it through. Stoddart just hacks it out of mid-air. Back to the middle of the ground. Well done on that occasion by the Lions. It's Christensen, gets it out to Cutler. And just a long kick inside forward 50. Skinner's the target. Hits the deck and rolls out of bounds. Interesting opening. Brisbane are going to have the advantage through the midfield, but Sydney in the ruck, you would think. Yeah,
you'd think Nolan Cameron will, well, at least they've got experience over Connor Ballenden and Tommy Fullerton. But Big Noel, he's a big unit, 205 centimetres.
That he is. Gets front spot. The American he is. And Rowbottom just wraps up Christian. Happy for the stalemate inside forward 50. Go again. Knowles gets it down. Lyons applies the tackle. They can't get it free. It was Bell who was the tackle. Cutler, and he's happy to take it. Gets it off to young Griffiths. Tom Griffiths, that is. Berry can't take it with him. Skinner finds a little bit of space. Gives it off to Coleman. Coleman around the corner. It's the first one. He's clever. He doesn't need much space. Kadeen Coleman. And gets the first one on the board. Only played a little over a minute of this first quarter.
Yeah, great snap from Kadeen Coleman. And good work, Tom Griffiths. He was, oh, there's a whistle here. It must be a blood rule, I think, coming off one of the Sydney Swans boys. Tom Griffiths won the ball back here on half-back flank when Sydney attacked initially. And then got involved again, punched it forward. And good stand-up in the tackle there. By Sam Skinner, who's getting more confident as the games go on, Kanga, after 3 knee recos.
Yeah, it's a big comeback from 3 knee reconstructions. It's Riley Stoddart is the man coming off the ground. Bit of claret coming out of the face there. Somewhere might be the nose. So wait for him to jump off the field before we can get back underway. Perfect opening for the Lions, though.
Yeah, and the young blokes involved, which is good to see.
Knowles again, that time beaten by Ballenden. Bell, back to Knowles, now to Rowbottom. Long inside forward 50. And that's a good mark to Ronk. Just the superior experience there. And just did it well. And up against the young boy in, might be Will Martin there. Up against
I think
him.
it was the Irishman, wasn't it?
Oh, it is actually. I'll credit where credit's due. You're absolutely spot on. It was James Madden opposing him. So Ronk comes in, 40 metres, kicks it low, kicks it hard, kicks it straight. There's the leveller. And within 2.5 minutes, we've had 1 goal apiece. And Ben Ronk on the board, and he'd be looking for a better performance because I think his round 5 game against the Lions was subpar, is it probably a nice way to put it?
Yes, very eloquently stated, Kanga. He was subpar on that day, lowered his colours badly, and he and James Rose will be really wanting to put a good showing forward to the Swan selectors. Look, he kicked 7 and got a Rising Star nomination last year in a game versus Hawks, one of his early AFL games. So he's capable of kicking a lot of goals for the Swans today.
Well, James Rose, he had 28 disposals in that round 5 clash, kicked the goal. He was very active. Just wondering what he's got to do to get back in that side as Brisbane take it away. Christensen got it from Ballenden inside forward 50. Well done attacking it there. It might have been Martin. And he kicked it long and only managed to find Josh Walker. Gives it to Hinge. They've both come back from the AFL side. Hinge just puts the motor on. Just wipes a few aside. Coleman. Now to Christensen. Little chipping ball. And that's a good build-up. Finds Toby Wooler. That was a good piece of play. Good build-up from the back half of the ground, Bob.
Oh, yeah, very good, wasn't it? Walker, very good mark. Used his body well. And his reach, gave the ball off to Hinge. Showed a turn of foot, didn't he? Mitch Hinge, he didn't look out of place at AFL level. He's a big improver, the boy from Glenelg. That was a beautiful pass there that's given Wooler a chance to kick his first for the day.
So Toby Wooler, 12 goals for the season so far. Lines them up, just hangs it out to the right. Didn't quite have enough on it anyway, and then just rushed over the line. So first blemish on the scoreboard. 1 goal, 1 Brisbane. The Swans 1 straight. I'll bring the ball back in. McInerney finds Wicks. Little one finds Rose. So this can be interesting to see their tactics of trying to extricate it from the back half. Well done there by Barkley. Although his kick wasn't the best, puts his teammate under pressure, and they coughed it up here. Lyons now to Joyce, and Joyce takes full advantage, and just you got to be sure of hand coming out of the back half, of foot and hand. Bad turnover, and the Lions made them pay.
Certainly did, yeah. No, good work by the forwards of the Brisbane Lions to keep the ball in. A couple of smothers, one against Barkley initially, and then that hand pass went awry, and the Lions just swooped on it, and good finish there. And look, they're looking dangerous. Young Joyce, he's a boy that missed a lot of footy last year, East Fremantle, and they got him, I think, late in the draft in 2018. That he was a standout as a 17-year-old for WA in the Under-18 Championships 2 years ago. So he's one for the future, I think, for the Lions.
He's building nicely into the season. Tom Joyce kicked a goal there. Back in the middle again, Knowles takes it away. Or at least got a hit out and then follows it up with a tackle. So that'll be a stalemate. We'll go again. Didn't quite pick your tip before the game too, Bob. What's your tip and by how many?
Look, I think the Lions by 40 plus.
It doesn't bode well in terms of this contest. Row bottom Rose, and they bring it back and turn it over yet again. Ballenden, middle of the ground. The Lions can attack again. Generally, he's got a big leg and goes inside forward 50. Coleman on that occasion can't gather it, although it was a half volley. Barkley just holds on to it a little bit there, but does well. On there by Rose. Chain of handballs. Finds McInerney to Rose. Now to McInerney, and just couldn't quite hang on to it under the pressure of Brisbane that started to come. Ball out of bounds right in front of the box there as Riley Stoddart is just getting patched up as we speak. Knowles eventually won the day. Kick away was from Bastanak, but no great effect. And Rose it is. It's the ball away. Cameron. It's a bit hard to get down that far and gather it cleanly every time. Eagles. Just handball to himself, looking for a target. Row bottom and Rose combine. Then Rose just goes bang. Just tries to put it down the ground as far as he can and finds Josh Walker. That's not going to win any friends in the Swans forwards, is it, Bob?
No, certainly not. Makes it hard for their forward structure, although Cameron should have done a bit better here at his bootlaces.
So Eagles has got it in the middle of the ground. Looks at a target. That's probably not his best effort. Cameron, he had got a chop, so that's free kick his way, and then play on's the call. Wicks just plays it on nicely, finds Ronk. Asked to play on now. Looking for a target. It was Wicks who was going down there to try and provide the target there, and now he puts on the tackle, and that one was on Jack Payne. So well done there by the Swans to keep it inside their forward 50.
Yeah, better effort from Darcy Cameron. Look, the other big fella coming into the side should give Cameron a bit of a rocket, I reckon, and he could be in for a good game today.
Cameron got the hit out, but Ballenden at ground level, although he couldn't quite take it. Bastanak at hands and knees. Can't quite feed it out effectively. Allison just clears the area. The big boy Knowles, he just puts it back from whence it came. Rose gets on the end of it. Approaching 50, just tries to measure one. Bastanak gets a hand in there to try and stop a mark. Cameron at ground level. Now on McFadden and Wicks. Wicks with the quick kick across the face. And it was 2 Lions there to help rush the ball over the line. And Matt Eagles, he just got a bit carried away. Didn't realise he needed to go and start from inside the goal square. So 2-1 playing 1-1. Lions ahead by 6 points. Lions through Allison, bring it out to the commentary side of the ground. Amati flew high, couldn't come down with it, on hands and knees. McInerney does well. China handballs Rose, feeds it back but not effectively. Coleman, he's there, and a bit of scrappy play there. Eventually it comes out. That was Brewer with the footy. Little ball in board, and only finds Mitch Hinge. Has runners on the outside. Lions is one of those. Lions with a bit of open space, and the kick was poor. Although coming through, well done was Ravel. Ends up with Coleman. And Coleman, he just kicked it with the outside of the boot. Just couldn't bring it back far enough. 1 point, probably a real gettable one. Just dropping the mark there was McKellar. Probably just need to be a bit sure of hand in that back half of the ground.
Yeah, look, he's had nearly every NEFL game for the Swans this year. Should have held that one.
Stoddart, good to see him back on the ground, although his kick only managed to find Jacob Allison. Very long by foot, so he can load up from here. And that's got the distance easily. The accuracy's there, and I think you were just about to steal my thunder, Bob. I knew as soon as he got to about 55 he was going to load up, and he did so truly. So the Lions have got 3. They move to 3-2-20. The Sydney Swans 1-1-7. Danger signs early, 13 points the margin. We've played about 11 minutes of this first quarter.
Yeah, you picked it well, Kangaroo. As soon as he picked that ball up, you could see his eyes light up. He loves them from that distance, and he can kick the ball very, very long on the run, and certainly did well there, splitting the middle. And he's been a great player for the Lions NEFL team this year, been very close to senior selection the last 3 weeks.
And I think the positional switches, I see it at least, back to the half-back line. Use his run and carry has been a real positive one from Chris Fagan and the Brisbane Lions coaching staff as a whole.
Certainly so. He and Hinge are certainly 2 for the future for the Lions off half-back.
Bounce. Skinner had to go up and ruck against Knowles. The ball came down. Only found Lions, who copped the high one. So Ronk gave that one away. So Lions can put it inside forward 50 again. And nobody went to ground, so nobody could get on the end of it. Coleman feeds it out, does well. Ravel now to Martin. Didn't get enough purchase on it, but working his way to the front was Cutler. I thought for a moment Martin was going for goals. It looked like that to me. And then Cutler said, you beauty, get my way to the front here. And on the back foot was the defender. You've got to be in front at all times.
Certainly so.
Cutler comes in, regulation, kick for him, and that's another goal. So the Lions are starting to rack them up. We've only played 12-odd minutes, and they've already got 4 goals on the board. Tom Cutler, this is his 5th game, and the 4 preceding at NEFL level, he's averaged 25 disposals, and he's kicked 9 goals, and that's his 10th for the year. So double digits for Tom Cutler. He's probably unlucky to be out of the side. Very good player at this level. Yeah,
well, it just shows the maturity of the Lions list a bit, doesn't it, when players like Christensen, Cutler, Bastanak, they've all been in great form and just can't quite win a game at this stage due to the good form of the Lions top 22.
Underway again, Cameron and Skinner. Give that one to Skinner. Lions did well to get it back to Skinner, and now Wooler. Another inside 50. Coleman, good spoil there by the Swans defence. Stoddart, he's just manhandled there by Bastanak. Might have been Geddes there with the spoil. Well under him. Cameron again. McInerney just doesn't get enough on it. Managed to put a bit of a slice on it. Wooler can't take it. Coleman's there, but Wooler, he'll get another crack at it. Griffiths attacks it hard. Well done there by McInerney. Just turns back into a bit of trouble. Gives it to Wicks, who does likewise. Under pressure. Bell gives it out now. That was Kilpatrick with the kick, and there to mop it up just across the defence there was Walker. Now to Martin. Has one out wider. That's Cutler, the goal kicker. They combined, albeit in probably unfashionable way before when Cutler kicked the goal. Cutler. And that's a good set of hands there shown by McFadgen. Got some ability, McFadgen.
Yeah, strong overhead, isn't he? It was one of the standout parts of his game last year as in the Allies and the Brisbane Lions Academy. And this is not beyond him here. He's right on 50, but he can thump the ball a long way.
Connor McFadgen. 190 centimetres, fair lump of a boy. Gives it a bit of a ride, but just hangs it out to the near side there, so one behind. Lions move to 4-3-27, Swans 1-1-7. Lions have had the Lions' share of the ball, pardon the pun, inside 50s, 10-3 at the moment, so a lot going their way as Stoddart brings it back in. Skinner. Walker just held up Knowles there, and Skinner just came in from the side. The kick just finds its target, Starcevic, and that wasn't his best effort. Kadeem Coleman just gathered it nicely and then handballed it straight to a Swans opposition player. Well done there by Ravel. Coming through there and getting caught with the ball there was Noah Cumberland. Should know that. Hello to his family, Maroochydore Roos. I know they'll be watching, if not here. The kick there from McKellar doesn't find a target, and the Lions, although the nice smother there from the Swans defence, we'll see the ball out of play. That was Swaney with the nice smother, the boy from East Sydney.
Yeah, a few Swans Academy players being used here, and good to see the Swans Academy boys get some opportunities.
Knowles on hands and knees. Joyce for the Lions. He's got the two big boys with him, and that's Coleman. Should I say Darcy Cameron. Wrapping him up. Knowles and Skinner. Knowles does it easily there, but Skinner just gets the clearance away. Lions just turns, props, and finds a short one in Tom Cutler right on the forward 50. He took the mark, so if he likes it, he's going to have to kick from 55. Has he got the journey here? A little bit of a breeze helping him though, Bob.
Yeah, look, I think he can, he's just on his measure, isn't he? But the way he kicked that last one where he found McFadgen on the lead, it was a beautiful kick. So his confidence levels will be up a bit, so you wouldn't rule him out from there.
Chance to become the first multiple goal kicker in the game. So he's going to have to kick it from 55. Loads it up. Across the face a little bit and over the top. So if it was online, it probably just about would have had the journey. Not to be. Right on the fringe. Tom Cutler, you'd suggest, to getting back in the Lions side. 21 points to margin. Stoddart, little short one. Finds Geddes. Just need to find an effective path from defence here. He'll come to the commentary side. Steps off the mark. Doesn't get a lot on it. Marty, but over the back there was Skinner. He's had a real bright start, particularly with his marking. Joyce gives it out wide. Cutler can have another go. Very much within range, and he just poked that one through. Almost a little 9-iron from about 40. And just hit it sweetly, and he is the first multiple goal kicker of the game. So the Lions, they move out to a 27-point lead now. And we've played about 17 3/4 minutes of this first quarter.
Yeah, great work, Skinner, wasn't it? The contested mark is probably his third contested mark so far today. He's even had a run in the ruck. So he's really lifting his confidence levels. Found, with a nice kick, found Joyce, and Joyce kicked it out further, and he was by himself out there on the wing, Cutler, and said, thank you very much for the chocolates. That's his second, probably could have kicked 3 already in the first quarter, so good start from him.
Here's an interesting stat for you, Bob. What's your take on this one? So Sydney lead the hit-outs 9-2, but Brisbane lead the clearances 9-2.
Yeah, they're pretty strong at ground level, aren't they, with their midfielders.
So Ballenden got the tap down there. They'll bring it away, the Swans. Or no, they won't. Bell's handball was cut off there by Cutler. Goes inside forward 50. Resting down there was Skinner. Swans defenders, they'd be happy to see the line. They can't find it. Wooler misses his handball target. Amati tries to take them on. That's just about a free kick for mine. Umpire says no. And it was Will Martin with the tackle. Good solid strength there by the young man. Amadi just tried to steamroll him.
Yeah, good player, Will Martin. Liked his year this year and he's going to play for the Allies next week.
Rowbottom looking for the boundary line. He'd be happy with it and finds it eventually. Plenty of young, exciting academy players on both sides, Bob. A few involved in the Allies. We'll talk about a few more of those as the day progresses. Ronk clears the area. But just standing underneath it and just judging it better was Eagles. Gets it to Ballenden. Trying to bring rain. Nothing coming though. Marty does well. Stood underneath it and takes a good mark. Gives it quickly off to Ronk. I'll try and get them on the fast break, but nobody's there. So Eagles, he's the first one there easily. Or easily, as people might call him. Tried to find Cutler. No joy. Just spilled over the boundary line.
Lions have been good with their switch of play. Eagles could have just about done it again then and gone back out the other side through Walker and then out through Allison, but didn't quite hit the left footer.
Wholeheartedly agree. Ballenden does well at ground level after the ruck contest. Cutler, it's another clearance. Inside forward 50. Fullerton can't take it. On there by Joyce. Chain of handballs. Eventually finds Lyons, just looking for an opening to feed it off. Does so now. Finds Allison, and he's got 2. So 6 first quarter goals so far for the Brisbane Lions. And 2 multiple goal kickers. Cutler was the first to get a couple. And now Allison joining the party there as well. 33 points the lead. Some 21 or approaching 21 minutes in the first quarter. A lot of one-way traffic at the minute, Bob.
Oh, yeah, just dominant in this first 20 minutes. That's 10 shots at goal in 20 minutes. So that's good going. And the inside 50s will be more one-sided as well. But look, the Swans have got some of their senior players. I know they've got a few out, but they're just they've really got to start putting their hand up. Rowbottom in the middle. He hasn't touched it yet. They've just got to start winning the ball at ground level and putting some pressure on some of these Lions players.
So we'll go again. Ballenden on that occasion. Ronk gets the clearance for the Swans. Gets to half forward. Kilpatrick, and also there is Griffiths. Kilpatrick just lays the tackle, ties it up, and those are the stalemates that they need at half forward, just to try and get some better players around the contest and take advantage of those ruck advantages, you'd suggest. Cameron. Bastanak feeds it out. Smothered ball. Not on there was Ronk, and Madden was the man who had his kick smothered. And just showing a little bit of fight there, Ronk. And that's don't mind that. There's a bit of spirit.
Yeah, no, he's certainly been better already today. He's looked dangerous, hasn't he? And won a couple of clearances. Looks like he's switched on today, in my opinion.
Might have been given the rocket. Bastanak. Another clearance for Brisbane. Marty with the spoil on Skinner. Coleman. McFadgen just puts it up. Finds Wooler. Nice hands. Joyce. Chipping ball. The run of Cutler. Has a little bit of open space. Decides to come in board. Measures one now, but was pushing back well there. That was Foot. Must be his just about first touch, I would have thought as well. Foot can't find a target. McFadgen feeds it back. Bastanak. Short one and finds Rose, who just came across to cut it off nicely.
Yeah, well, first thoughts are best thoughts, I think, and Ryan probably could have gone on his right foot then. Hit the target and it would have got there, but he took that little bit longer, went in the left and got intercepted.
Ball came out wide. Just Cody Hurst in the play there. Curly-headed speedster, just taken in the mid-season draft. We'll see what he can bring to the table. Ronk just almost has a fresh air shot as much as anything else. There was Berry involved there. Allison doesn't find his target on that occasion, though. Hinge and Berry combine again. Cutler just feeds the ball out wider to Walker. He's looking for a target. And I was going to say finds one, and Wooler wasn't paid. He was trying to claim it. Fullerton lays a tackle. Now the ball spills out to Coleman. And then Joyce just chimes in. Takes an easy mark about 30 metres out from goal. They can have another shot. Not a difficult angle at all. Pressure around the contest, Bob.
Yeah, no, they've been very good, the Lions, haven't they? They've looked for that chain of handballs to get the ball moving off half-back, hit targets. And this young fella, he's really stepping up, isn't he? Every time I watch him, he's improving, and he's had a heap of the ball already today.
So he comes in, shoots it, and hits the post. So didn't finish off the good work on that occasion. His fourth disposal for the day. Not, in his opinion at least, probably his best. But still, the Lions hold sway, 6-5-41. The Swans 1-1. 7, the margin 34 points. 35 points, 34 points. My maths is struggling along there. Martin, little chipping ball. It's Martin for the Swans. Finds Wicks. Wicks to Zackfoot. His kick smothered, so that's not handy at all. McInerney, those right there, luckily, feeds it back. Now to Martin. He has his kick smothered. So the pressure stays on from the Lions. Joyce, wrapped up by Wicks. So they'll keep it inside their forward 50, Brisbane. And a couple of those little elementary errors, not being able to kick over the man on the mark that first occasion. Not good footy. Bellenden gets it down. Rose is in there. Bell, Wicks. Oh, he feigned to give the handball and then got wrapped up by Berry. Well done. Bastanak feeds it back. Hinge doesn't quite find Fullerton. Chiming in there was Coleman. Feeds it back even further. Eagles. Well, chipping ball. That's a free kick, one would suspect, to Lions. No eyes on the ball there, Stoddart. Professional free kick. Corey Lyons lobs it long, looking for a target. Coming at the back was Ballenden. Didn't come down with it. Berry can't feed it out. He'll go again. Rose, head over the foot. He just feeds it out, but straight to Bastanak. He just does the team thing. Top of the square. Hinge couldn't quite take it. Christensen at ground level, although wrapped up straight away on that occasion by Brewer. Good disciplined play to kick it to the right spots.
Yeah, Hinge nearly got a handle on that one. It wasn't far away. Good work, Bastanak.
Cameron with the hit out. And copping a high one there was Christensen. So it's another shot at goal for Brisbane. And this could really push the margin out. This would make it 40 points in the first quarter.
Yeah, might have to revise the margin the way it's going, Kanga. I said 40 plus. It's 40 already.
Well, you left yourself a bit of room for movement when you said plus. It's a goal to Alan Christensen, his first for the afternoon. A boy from Lara, and of course premiership player at Geelong. He kicks his first. Margin now 40 points. 7-5, 47, 1-1-7. The Brisbane Lions over the Sydney Swans. 27 minutes gone. And Alan Christensen, last time these two sides played, he had 34 disposals, 8 marks. So he was in the thick of it, and here he is bobbing up again already.
Yeah, I remember that day he started a little slowly, but certainly he's been more prevalent today. But yeah, look, he's had a rich vein of form in the knee for the last few weeks, and he's pushing up for selection as well. There's a number of others.
That bounce, that'll be recalled.
Just one comment, Mitch Hahn and Scotty Ball-Ace and all these coaches, they'd be really rapt the way the Lions Academy youngsters have fitted in and played their structures and roles this year.
Go again, Fullerton just leapt over the top, the former basketballer, over another former basketballer in Knowles. Berry feeds it off to Fullerton. Little worm-burning ball inside forward 50, doesn't find a target. Bastanak though, quick kick forward. Cutler couldn't handle it, but he'll go again and then shoot it, and just couldn't bring it back far enough as he was pushed. Off balance, the kick came, and offline, 41 points now the margin.
Yeah, a little bit laconic there from Cutler, easy chest mark, 20 metres out. Should murder those.
You should. Short ball from the restart finds Rowbottom. Cameron's the target and just outpoints Jack Payne there. Well done, Darcy Cameron. Going to need all of his guiles and experience and muscle for the Swans. As same with this man, James Rose. Asked to go, kicks it long down the line. They've got the numbers, they've got the height. Eagles dropped what he should have taken, Cameron, and they just can't quite get it going their way. Getty's turned it over. Eagles and Allison combined, they've got it to Lyons. Has to evade Bell, so feeds it back to Hinge. Goes out wide, dangerous kick, but it'll find its target. Bastanak, gives it to Walker, who left it behind. Gives it back to Bastanak. Bit of champion data racking them up in the stats, and that kick's not a good one either. So the pressure's on here. They might turn it over. Hinge on hands and knees is caught with the ball. Eagles just tries to furry it out. Gets it off to Wicks. So the ball feeds out to Wicks and they kick a goal. And it was Tom Tyson who fed it to him. And sloppy play in the back half from Brisbane, but good pressure from the Swans. And that's what they need to continue to bring as they kick their second.
Yeah, that's the sort of thing they need to bring to the table. Like I mentioned, Tom Cutler's drop chest mark. That was some poor play in defence there from the Lions. Eagles, Hinge, Walker all involved. Bit of fumbling, and that's all a good side will need to get back into it. And that's a start. That's something to work on for the Sydney Swans. Bit of pressure at ground level, and a bit of chase from some of their academy players, as you mentioned. Tyson, one of them.
Yep, just need to keep that pressure up in the contest. They're outmanned in terms of pure experience of AFL and listed players, but it's no accounting for good pressure. Knowles brings it down. Bring it down, though, is the Lions. Bastanak, he's in the midst of it, I should say. Rose wraps him up. They'll turn it over. McInerney gets it off the row bottom. He's palmed a couple off and then he's got a kick under pressure. And it was Starcevic wrapped up. Didn't get away with it and just got away with one, I think, there. He'll get it back. Goes long. Fullerton was the target. And just the short kick. Well done there by, might have been Tyson with the kick there. Finds Hurst. Hurst, left foot. Up towards Cameron. Can't take it on the second bite. Ronk feeds it out. Well done. Handball's intercepted. The handball was from Paul, but the Lions got it back there, and Rowbottom intercepted a kick. Just backward of centre on this commentary side of the ground. A bit more of a stalemate in these last couple of minutes, Bob.
Yeah, look, it was good work there. Firstly, Kyle McKellar, good defence in front of the Lions leading forwards, and then good work again from Rory Barkley. So those two have played a lot of NEFL footy for the Swans this year.
Marty. The kick didn't find a target, went to a pack, so Hinge mops it up, gets it to Lyons. Allison's there. They'll try and spread to the outer side here. We've got Bastanak. He'll be the first one. Stoddart comes to meet him, but they do have the extra man. And they were away, but the Sirens beaten them there. It was Will Martin with the ball to finish. And at quarter time, it was the Lions. They really opened them up early. 7-6-48. They have a 35-point lead over the Sydney Swans. It's 1v2 in this NEFL Round 9 clash. And the Swans were 2-1-13 at this first quarter time break. I'll get your thoughts in just a moment. Bob Batty, just quickly key stats or key winners of stats. Tom Cutler had 12 first quarter disposals, 2 clearances, 4 inside 50s and 2 goals, 2. Likely should have been almost 4 goals, you'd suspect. Lions, he racked them up early, had 9 disposals, including a couple of clearances, 3 inside 50s. Bastanak, a fair bit of work through the middle and back half of the ground, 9 disposals also. Coleman, he's lively. He is very lively. Kadeen Coleman kicked the first goal of the game. 1 goal, 1 he's got. He's got 8 disposals as well. Hinge has 7. Allison with 2 goals as well. He's had 6 disposals along with Matty Eagles. And James Rose, he had 8 disposals for the Swans. 4 marks, 2 clearances. And then Rowbottom had 7 disposals. McInerney 6 in the back half, mainly in the back half of the ground. Ronk, he kicked a goal to go with his 5 disposals. And then a stack of players with 4. Hit-outs going the Swans' way, 16-6, but clearances back the other way in a big way, 15-6 Brisbane's way, and then inside 50s, Brisbane lead the charge there, 20-4. just an absolute weight of football, Bob.
Yeah, look, they were dominant, weren't they? Just a couple of little errors down the last 3 or 4 minutes of that first quarter, but apart from that, a dominant display from the Lions. They're winning in all positions, certainly at ground level once the ball clears that midfield. And you mentioned Corey Lyons, he's been good. Cutler's good. Joyce, Skinner, Allison. Got winners all over the ground. Kadeen Coleman, you mentioned, he was very dangerous. And for Sydney, it's few and far between. Rowe's got a few kicks, but out wide. Bell's been good in patches, and Ronker's been good in patches. But a lot of work to do for Sydney Swans to get back into this.
Absolutely. We'll take a break as the players get some messages, and we'll be back with you on NEFL TV. Thanks to our broadcast partner, Bar TV, after the break. Welcome back to the South Pine Sports Complex here on the northern suburbs of Brisbane. At quarter time here in the game between the Brisbane Lions and the Sydney Swans in this round 9 NEFL clash. Brisbane got away to a flyer, 7-6-48. The Swans 2-1-13. The margin at quarter time, 35 points. Bob Batty, it was a big quarter for the Lions. We're going to see what the Swans can do.
Yeah, they've got a real big job to get back into this game now, Sydney.
That they have. Knowles gets it down, but straight to Connor Ballenden. Big kick up inside forward 50 and finds Sam Skinner. And it got underway that second quarter just the same way it was in that first quarter.
Well, we're just talking in the break how the Swans have been getting most of the knockouts, but they just haven't been going to advantage. Well, that one by Noel went to his opponent in the ruck, Connor Ballenden, who's bombed at 60 metres to Skinner, who took a great mark in the square.
Sam Skinner comes in, straight in front, makes no mistake. In the first one of the second quarter, that took all of 45 seconds. The first one in the first quarter was about a minute. So the margin extended out to 41 points. And good to see Sam Skinner, as we mentioned, back from 3 knee reconstructions. And he's been in good nick so far. He's taken a couple of really good marks up forward and even through the middle of the ground.
Yeah, look, he's been really well used by Mitch Hahn, I reckon, this year. He's played at centre-half back as a key defender, pushed him forward, and he's even had a run in the ruck today. So just his confidence levels are getting stronger every game.
Swans just got to fix up that middle of the ground. Knowles' first game in from South Adelaide, and that's got to come back surely. Yes, the umpire agrees. It's got a bit of cohesion. He's only met his teammates for the first time on, what, probably Thursday, you'd suggest?
Yeah, Wednesday, Thursday.
Goes again. Knowles put the body in, but Joyce will come away. Gives it to Bastanak. Kicks it up forward. Bring it to ground was the Lions. Berry, he's besieged when he got hold of the footy. Now Stoddart, long ball on the left. Geddes outpointed by the bigger man in Josh Walker, just that experience at AFL level. Good learning experience for Max Geddes. Josh Walker kicks it up, just held up a little bit in the breeze. Marty couldn't take it with him. Rowbottom and Stoddart combine. And a quick kick forward. Cameron and Ballenden are right there. Well done by Kyle McKellar there, get the ball away. So right on this centre wing area, right in front of the Neefle commentary position. We'll get a good look at the stoppage and see what's going right for the Lions and see what's going wrong for the Swans here, Bob.
Certainly will, yeah. Connor Ballenden out-muscled there by the big fella.
Well done there by Knowles on that occasion. They'll eventually win the clearance. Rowbottom over the back and Geddes again outpointed by Walker. Running for him is Eagles. Now Payne, and then goes out to the outer side, and Allison. Searing ball. Doesn't quite find, or Wooler got a chop of the arms from Armadi, so we'll win the free kick anyway. So where to go? See Aspley coach Daniel Webster in the background over there, just watching proceedings unfold. Tom Griffiths with the ball now. Boy originally from Coolum Beach, the Breakers. Right, his father, mother and father I know will be here, watching intently, and his family. Kick wasn't his best though. The Swans will do well. Well done there to Cody Hurst, the Eastern Rangers boy. I reckon he's got a good set of skates on him when he gets a bit open space. Just hooks the kick. Walker at front spot, couldn't take it with him. Madden, little handball. Almost a fresh airy from Allison. Tom Griffiths goes again. This cops a high one, so he'll win the free kick. He goes back inboard. Walker's there. They'll just raffle this, although that kick wasn't his best effort. Eagles. Just helped out by Payne. Now the run from Cutler. Cutler, chipping ball just up the line. Finds Joyce. To Lions. Cutler again. Now to Christensen. 60 metres out from goal. And just easy as you like. Up the line. Just no pressure on the ball carrier. Makes it hard for the Swans defenders. And Toby Wooler takes the mark.
Yeah, good football from the Lions, wasn't it? Another switcher play. Walker's not the best at kicks at times, and that one probably at the next level up would have got chopped off, but they were good enough to get out. And it's a big learning curve for, I think it's Sam Gaydon, number 60. Gaydon, the boy from Sydney Bulldogs.
Do apologise.
He's got a big job on Josh Walker there to try and stop his defence.
So Wooler, just beautiful kick straight over the goal umpire's hat. That's 9 for the Lions. And that's Wooler's first goal for the afternoon. And just extends the margin yet again, 47 points now. My apologies to Max Geddes and also Sam Gaydon for getting them mixed up. Happens occasionally.
Oh, well, there's nine academy players for the Swans, so very difficult to try and get a handle on all of them, Kanga. But yeah, look, it's a big learning curve for young Sam. He's played some good games down back for the Swans Academy, so playing centre forward against a player of the ilk of Walker, who's played nearly every game for the Lions this year, it's a big ask.
It's a big ask, and talking about big, the margin's starting to get that way. Ballenden with the hit out. Lions couldn't take it. When again, McFadden couldn't take it with him. Now eventually it comes out to Wicks. Wicks with a little ball. No, in fact, it wasn't Wicks, it was Hurst. Little ball. And we'll pick up that play. Should side on to me. Might be Kyle McKellar, perhaps.
He's certainly going to have a shot, that's for sure.
Well, that's what you like. Young men backing themselves. Comes in. It was Paul. So there's a push in the contest. We'll go the Swans' way. And picking up the football. He's big. Darcy Cameron, is it?
Yep.
He'll go back and kick an elementary goal. So well done to the Swans. I'll get one back here. And the easiest of goals is kicked by Darcy Cameron, one for him. And the margin back to 41 points.
We talked in the break there, Kanga, about Darcy Cameron and how what a great season he had last year, 2018. He was runner-up in the NEFL MVP award to Matty Payne. Had a brilliant second half of the year. Was just dominant in the ruck and forward for Sydney. Just hasn't shown that so far this year.
No, and I've got to say that he was a bit slow to start last year in the ruck, but I'll tell you what, in the back half of last year, he really mowed it home and made it very interesting in the NEFL MVP. Ballenden gets a tap away again. Christensen in amongst it. Wooler wrapped up by Rose. And we'll have a secondary stoppage there. Ballenden, that's a block there to win the free kick. Wooler got it off Ballenden, and well done there. A very nice mark. That was Brewer with the ball, and his kick just out-heighted by Jack Payne. There, the boy from Noosa. Just puts it back inside forward 50. Armadi, 2 bites of the cherry, but takes the mark. Good defensive save there. Is that wide? Connor Kilpatrick. Look for a target further afield, and that's downfield. He was hit a little bit late, so they'll transport the ball down further. They wanted further advantage, but not paid. Wicks. Is the ball off. Back to Kilpatrick. And Big Noel. And Ballenden having a good battle. And Ballenden's actually doing very well in that ruck contest, I've got to say.
Yeah, look, he started the second quarter very well, Connor Ballenden. He's really progressed with his football this year. I was a little bit worried about his first year last year, but he certainly picked up.
Fullerton just puts it inside forward 50. Ravel. Chipping ball finds Berry, who in turn gives it to Joyce. And that's 2 for Joyce. And again, just that transition football has just really brought the Swans unstuck, and it's been irresistible football in a lot of ways for Brisbane.
Yeah, that was great movement, wasn't it? Bruce Revel, I'll just give him a bit of a kick along. He Bruce has had an indifferent academy series with the Brisbane Lions Academy. Had some games where he's dominant in quarters and then found wanting in others, but plenty of skill level. I met him at the Troy Clark Medal a couple of years ago. A lovely young man from Bundaberg Wide Bay, and he's got some great skills, and he's done some nice things so far today.
A lot of good players have come through that Troy Clark Scholarship program. Of course, great man, Troy Clark. Sadly missed in Queensland football. Go again. So the margin 47 points, 10-6-66. Sydney 3-1-19. The Lions by 47. And we've played 10.5 minutes of this second quarter. Rose emerges with the ball with the clearance. Kick to half forward, standing underneath it there. Able to take it there was Madden. Cutler with a little handball. They feed the ball out wide. Walker, Bastanak. They'll go backwards. Starcevic has to pivot and come up the line. Finds Cutler. So play on's the call, and Rowbottom intercepts the Cutler kick. So they'll win it back here, the Swans. Put it back to half forward, but didn't really look where he was putting it, and Jack Payne just gobbled it up. Talking about gobbling it up, unable to gobble it up, there was Matt Eagles. Knowles was right there with him, but Eagles goes again. Bit of a cult hero at the Lions. Hasn't been a add to his games tally so far this year at senior level. Martin and Wooler. Now to Ravel. We spoke about him. Very skillful. Don't have to put them on show there, but just a little chipping ball finds Wooler. That's inside forward 50, and his kick just chopped off on that occasion by Kyle McKellar. Over the top, Ravel couldn't take it, but Wooler can. A little chipping ball, and then it'll find Griffiths.
Cumberland, I think.
Oh, Cumberland. Geez, his father won't like me saying that. Mistake him for anybody. I should know that little ponytail hanging out the back of that tape. I know Cumberland. Go back and shoot for goal.
Probably needs this one to lift his confidence. This is his first. I know he's played senior footy at Maroochydore, part of a premiership, but just needs a bit of a boost.
Comes in, kicks it from about 38 metres, lays back on it, but gets it anyway. Well done to Noah Cumberland. First in Lions colours, or at least at NEFL level, in part of their academy. And the Lions add yet another. That's 4 so far in this second quarter, and the margin out to 53 points, 72 playing 19. And what a good step it is, I suppose, and particularly in this atmosphere, Bob, that academy players can come in with a good core of listed or rookie players to really learn off, and then they can just go about their business of gaining that experience and not have to be the focal point. Yeah,
look, it's to play your role, isn't it? And he's probably he's only probably had limited time on the field so far today, but play your role, do the right things, you'll end up with the footy, and that's what happened on that occasion.
Skinner went in the ruck and then end up getting the clearance. Stoddart, he spoiled. Berry was right there with him. Berry gets it now. Ravel just tried to get around one and then just rushed a handball out. Coleman couldn't handle it. Cutler, just with strength, over the top of McFadgen's head. McKellar, just at ground level there, caught. And Pade holding the ball, didn't make sufficient effort. So coming up with this one will be Corey Lyons. So the floodgates are opening.
Yeah, certainly so. They're going to be hard to stop now. Confidence levels of nearly every single Lions player is sky high at present. But good work, Corey Lyons. He realised there that he wasn't going to get possession first up. So he dwelled on it, waited till his opposition player went to ground and then laid the tackle and should convert.
So Lions, well, it's just drifting, hits the post. So he should have, could have, would have, but didn't kick the goal at least. And the kick-in didn't find its target, put players under pressure. Eventually, is Cameron, gets it to McInerney. Chipping ball, finds Johnny Paul. Paul to half forward. Knowles is trying to make the play. He was trying to make the contest, but ended up being the rover and then kicks a nice goal, the big man. 205 centimetres of him. Tried to get to the marking contest, couldn't quite get there. The ball spilled away and straight into his hands and good enough to convert his first goal in Swans colours. And good to see him making an impact. Margin back to 48 points. The Lions' way, though.
Yeah, you'd call that from the collegiate basketball, you'd call that a rebound. Score assist. He actually roved that one and finished beautifully from about 40 on the run. So he's shown that he's got the leap. He did a beautiful knockout there to Rose about 2 throw-ups ago, or bounce-ups ago. So let's see what he can do here. That'll lift his confidence levels.
Finding his way. Brand new side. Been playing the SANFL in South Adelaide. No doubt a lot of people in Adelaide watching. Welcome to them. Neefle TV, thanks to our broadcast partner, Bar TV. Rose's handball, a little bit of rye. Cumberland for the Lions. Put it towards Christensen. Couldn't gather on the first occasion and then threw the leg at it. Dangerous, said the umpire. So McInerney wins the free kick. Well, short one finds Rowbottom. They'll go quickly. One-on-one contest. Well, able to get a hand on it was the boy Gadden. Now Ronk round the corner. Dangerous spot. Ballenden just outpoints Paul. Allison just shrugs one off. Gives it to Hinge. Swings it around to Lyons. See what I did there, Bob? Kicked into the man of the mark, though. Should have been concentrating on the ball instead of the comedy. I'm trying to bring it through. The pressure's there all of a sudden. Trying to work it around. Martin for Brisbane applies the tackle on Rowbottom. And we have a stalemate.
Yeah, you got to make sure they're not rusty, those hinges on those swings. But no, look, he's usually a beautiful finisher there, Hinge. But not quite that time.
No. It's blocked there. Allison gets it out there. There's Martin for the Swans. Now Kilpatrick just on hands and knees. Gets up quickly. Well done, Rose. Now to Martin. Has his kick smothered by Allison. Go again.
Just note the Lions Neefle team really do those 1%ers really well now. The smothers, the touches on the mark, the hands up on the mark, all those little things that make you a good team. Mitch Hahn's got that into their game. Very good to see.
Bellenden worked his way to the front spot. Rose drop kicked it forward. Madden. He was there for the Lions, and also with him is Jack Payne. They're happy to take it over the line. So ball tied up inside. The Swans forward 50. Inside 50s. 29-9, Brisbane's way. Clearances 19-11, so the Swans have steadied somewhat there. Hit-outs going 21-9, the Swans' way. Running onto it there was the Swans. Here is Hurst. Burst from Hurst. Can't quite take it with him. He just put it off the outside of the boot.
You can see why the Swans list manager, Kenny Beatson, was really keen to get hold of this young fella, playing in the TAC Cup for Eastern, and real burst of speed, and that's what he showed there.
Allison, that was a nice mark over Ronk. Cumberland swings the ball out to Hinge. Did it again. Goes out wide. Well done by Joyce, running with the flight of the ball. Chipping ball smothered though, so chance for the Swans, but no. Wooler. Just waxed with Christensen, got it back, just put it in the path of Madden. He's pretty quick himself if he finds a bit of open space. Paul's right with him. Skinner. It was a holding free kick.
Just to Madden, I think.
Go to Madden after the ball had cleared his immediate area. So the Irishman, we can see what he's going to do from County Dublin. Looks like he's adapted fairly well to the Sharon. Bob?
Yeah, look, he's exciting with his pace, isn't he? I don't know about the kicking.
It's coming back. It's hit the post, so it wasn't far away there.
Improving.
I thought he'd made a mess of me in that call. It looked a little unorthodox, but nearly got the result. Margin out to 49 points. Stoddart just kicked the ball and got it back from the kick in. Just getting a hand on it and just affecting, bringing it to ground there. Well done by Hurst. Paul. Now off to Rose. Has Rowbottom in the middle. Well done. They can go to the outer side. Finds Stoddart through the middle again. Just puts the skates on. The afterburners. Kicks it long. Bell is the target. Just impacts the contest to bring it to ground at least. Well done there. Gadden. Now Wicks. He's already kicked the goal. Has to feed it off to Cameron. They take it back. Stoddart again. Measures one. Can't find the target though. Eagles at ground level. Misses what he probably should have done a bit better at. McInerney doesn't find a target himself. Eagles just hits it on the ground. That was actually pretty good because it found Jack Payne. And Kadeen Coleman almost takes a nice mark. Berry's there. Just doing well there on that occasion was McKellar. Gets it to Rose. Rose just sits the ball up. Can't quite find Swaney on the full, so the Lions take it. Wooler, he's tackled after he got it from Joyce. Coleman just applied a tackle. Wasn't good enough to get it. And there by Geddes. He's back there. The Swans might get out of this yet. Marty gives it back. And Geddes it is that just can settle things down. Hectic piece of play there, Bob, as Rose has the ball.
Yeah, look, good work from the Lions forwards, wasn't it, to try and hold it in there. But the Swans are out here.
Swaney out of side. What are they going to do in terms of build-up here? And they've got the tall timber of Brisbane back. Wicks in the middle of the ground. Decides to come back inboard, forced to kick on the left. Fullerton's back there all by himself because it went over the head of Madden and also big Darcy Cameron. So the Lions can bring it back out.
Yeah, got to do better than that, Darcy Cameron. He was their only tall target up there, up forward for Sydney, and just didn't work hard enough and just allowed the Lions defenders to get prime position.
Will Martin was the man who kicked it. Ballenden under contest. And the ball just came off some hands. Ricocheted out of bounds. Kyle McKellar, the boy from the St George Dragons, is involved there, 19 years of age. Cameron just knocks Rowbottom just about A over T on his way through. And that's a nice mark there as Cameron kicked the ball and Josh Walker just mopped it up as he does. It's been Mr. Reliable.
Yeah, look, we mentioned the job Gaydon's got down there. It's a tough one. He's played better in this second quarter and at least given him a target and a hand in, but that occasion not to be.
Bastanak, he's flung off the ball by Amati. The ball wasn't there, so free kick will go Brisbane's way. There's Christensen over the top. He can go if he wants to, decides not to though. If I was him and I was that quick and I was up against Darcy Cameron, I'd be trying to run around the mark. But no, little chipping ball finds Bastanak. Got the little bit of attention from Wicks. Chipping ball. It didn't go the required distance, so it goes back to Bastanak. Dangerous spot. Oh, and that's a nice mark by Toby Wooler, I think it is, bringing it down.
I don't think it's Joyce.
No, it's Berry. It's Berry.
Oh, it is.
My apologies. We both got it wrong. Tommy Berry. That was a good set of mitts there. I'm not used to seeing him in that contested marking situation, which probably threw me a little bit, but Tommy Berry, very nice indeed. It's a chance to shoot it from 36 metres. It just looked horrible off the boot. And out of bounds on the full, so Darcy Cameron will kick the ball up. We've got one player coming off who doesn't look... It's Riley Stoddart. He's been in the wars today. Fullerton, he was up in the ruck and gets up again. Well done there by the Lions. That was Berry involved again. Allison. Wooler was the man attacking that one, but was beaten on that occasion by Darcy Cameron, the big ruckman, getting back and doing what a good ruckman should. Short one to Amati. Short ball. out wide. Just trying to open some space up. Little ball just doesn't find its target. Cutler, hands and knees. And the ball tied up there. It was Kyle McKellar. Just a little sloppy kick, really.
Yeah, no, they haven't been good by foot today, the Swans. They've turned the ball over a little bit, and full credit to the Lions forwards, putting a lot of good defensive pressure on them.
McInerney handball didn't find its target, and his intended target was Van Hoosted. Haven't called him yet today.
Yeah, no, he's a Dow defender. He's played a lot of good footy for the Swans Academy earlier this year, and Swans Academy won 4 of their 5 games.
Cameron got it down nicely. Can't really affect the clearance for his side, though. Skinner, though, just emerges with the football. With the outside of the foot, finds Wooler. And I've got to say, I'm a bit of a fan of this man. I've tried to call him a few times in the last couple of minutes, Wooler, as it is. But he's averaging 28 disposals and 9 marks so far this NEAFL season. Kicked 10 goals. Or in fact, he's kicked 13 goals, I should say. Just wonder how close he's going to get. We'll see. Talk to Bob about his thoughts after this Wooler shot at goal. Pulls it to the near side, so he can't add to those tally of 13 goals for the season. What do you think, Bob?
Yeah, look, he's a great endurance athlete, isn't he? He's very good, strong overhead. Pack marking's really not his go. He's got to get on his bike and keep leading up as a sort of a push up forward. But look, he can play a role, certainly across half forward for the Lions in years to come.
McInerney puts it off. Eventually it finds Van Hoosted. Handball doesn't quite hit its mark there. And the kick was a little bit dodgy. Joyce to Allison, now to Payne, who initially spoiled the ball. Christensen impacts the contest, did well. And then Amadi, happy, probably very happy for the ball to go out of bounds. Brewer was there in support. So the margin, 49 points. Played 27 and a quarter minutes of this second quarter. Cameron gets it down. McInerney can't take it away. Umpire says that will be a ball up.
They've done that well, the Lions. They've negated the ruck work of both Cameron and Noel.
Cameron got it on that occasion. Ballenden there's happy to apply the tackle. Saw a mouthguard come out. There, McInerney lost a handle on it. Ballenden got the quick kick away. McKellar did well in the contest. Big solid lad he is, the boy from St George. Skinner. He's just lays a tackle on Barkley. So applies the pressure, keeps it in. That forward 50 just all for the Lions on that outer side. Zach Foot's there. He's got it. McFadgen just lays a tackle on him now.
To keep that ball on the forward half. He's rock solid, isn't he? He's very tough to get around.
Skinner uncontested. And towards Christensen, just lying over the top of him there is Rose. Dying second to this second quarter. 49 points the lead. Swans bring it out. Van Hoosted, kick up. Finds Sam Gadden. And the siren goes for half time. It's been an electric first half of football if you're a Brisbane Lions supporter, particularly at NEAFL level, because they are 11-9-75. The Sydney Swans 4-2-26. Brisbane kicked 7 in the first quarter and 4 in the second. And then Sydney, they've added the similar scores in the first and second, 2 goals, 1 in each of those quarters. So the margin 49 points. Bob, how'd you see that first half?
Yeah, domination really from Brisbane Lions. Just got too much quality all over the field, moving the ball well, kicking the ball well, using each other well, and their structures holding up very nicely so far this year. The Swans they stemmed the bleeding a little bit, didn't they? Stopping them to 4 goals to 2 that quarter. But look, it's a big ask, and you see them walking off now looking a little bit dejected. But They've got to stick with it. There's a couple of good signs. Good to see young Hurst and Noel in their first games with the club, both get involved that quarter. Noel with a lovely goal, and Hurst looking a bit dangerous up forward. So, look, little things, little fish are sweet for Jeremy Laidlaw. That's something to take out of the quarter. But, yeah, not much else of that first half for Sydney Swans. Domination from Brisbane Lions, and their unbeaten run continues at this stage. Long way to go.
That they are. So just some very quick stats before we go to the break. And just leading possession getters, I think we'll concentrate on. Tom Cutlass had 17 disposals in that first half, couple of goals. Ryan Basanax had 15. Toby Wooler, he's had 14 disposals and 6 marks. He's kicked a goal as well and 5 inside 50s. Jacob Allison, he's been busy, 13 disposals along with Corey Lyons and Mitch Hinge. Tommy Joyce and Josh Walker have had 10, and Walker's had 7 marks to go with that. And Joyce has kicked a couple of goals. For the visitors, the Sydney Swans, it is James Rose. He's had 15 disposals, 5 marks and 4 clearances and 3 inside 50s as well. Rowbottom's had 11. McInerney's had 11 as well. And Ben Ronk, he's had 9 disposals. A little bit quieter in that second quarter, but kicked a goal in that first stanza. Possessions overall, the Lions, as you'd expect, 196 to 159 marks, 63 to 41. Hit-outs favouring the Swans, 23 to 11, but the clearance is going back the other way with the Lions, 21 to 14. Inside 50s, absolute domination by the Brisbane Lions, 34 to 12. So a lot of numbers going the Brisbane Lions' way, including that on the scoreboard. 49 points is the margin. We'll take a break here on NEFL TV. Thanks to our broadcast partner, Bar TV, here at South Pine Sports Complex, where the Brisbane Lions, at the main break, lead by 49 points. Welcome back to South Pine Sports Complex for this round 9 NEAFL clash between the Brisbane Lions and the Sydney Swans. At half-time, the Brisbane Lions held sway very convincingly. Just at the moment, it is 11-9-75 to the Swans, 4-2-26. Mark Kennedy is my name. And joining me is the encyclopedia of everything at NEAFL, and including Queensland footy, I might add, Bob Batty. And Bob, it was a dominant display in the first half from the Brisbane Lions.
Yeah, they would have been happy with that, the coaching staff. They would have, this was a game that, Sydney 1 versus 2. They've played them 5 weeks ago and had a big win, but you can fall into a trap of not coming with your A game and getting a bit of trouble. But they certainly put that to ice in the first quarter. 7 goals first quarter and 13 shots at goal. They were dominant. So good start by the Lions and plenty of hard work left for the Swans to get something out of this game.
Well, a couple of the key performers in that first half. Tom Cutler, I thought, was really influential, particularly early in the piece. 17 disposals in that first quarter. Bastanak was very general-like through the middle and down back as well. And also Jacob Allison. And I like the work of Connor Ballenden and the way he's gone about it. While James Rose has tried hard, but they've had few and far between as far as contributors, the Swans. Yeah,
I fully agree. I think, you mentioned Bell. Bell's got the captaincy role today. He's got a lift. McInerney's got a lift. Ronke started well, went out of it that quarter. Darcy Cameron and James Rose are the big two that have really got a lift and put their mark on this game in the second half.
Well, we're going to get underway. We're going to see how the Swans really try and respond here. Are the Lions going to go on with it, or the Swans going to keep coming? And play on is the call. I've been told by the NEAFL media manager to call Michael Knoll instead of Knowles. So he's that big. I thought there was 2 of him, 205 centimetres. So I went with the plural. In the ruck, Ballenden up against Ballenden. So there's a free kick on the play there. It will go the way of the Swans for a hold. It'll go to Bell. Now to Stoddart. Good to see him back off. He's limped off a couple of times today. His kick inside the forward 50 wasn't a good one, and Josh Walker it was that just mopped it up easily. One of the prime movers for the Brisbane in the back half has been Jacob Allison. Had the ball, couldn't find Connor Ballenden on the lead. Out towards the boundary line, over the boundary it goes. We'll have it thrown in.
Yeah, he's played some good footy for the Lions the last year and a half, Josh Walker at centre half back, and he's been holding up well there in that position today for the NEAFL team.
Ballenden had front spot. Bastanak, it's another clearance. Wooler, well done there by Amati. Just got in the middle of it there. Stoddart loves to use his pace to get out if he possibly can. That was the boy involved there was Brewer. So chain of handballs. Stoddart involved again. Bell, Rowbottom, just feeding it up the line, but only to Ballenden. Tom Joyce is there. McInerney lays the tackle on him, and we'll have surely a ball up. Yes, we will. But out of sight here of South Pine Sports Complex. A couple of clouds in the sky and a bit cool-ish for a Brisbane day, but beautiful nonetheless. At 21, 22 degrees. Shouldn't be complaining. Bastanak goes again. Second effort. Just gets a little kick away. Right near the boundary line. Over it goes again. Chilly in Queensland for night time too.
Yes, no, it's doona weather, which is unusual up here in Queensland to have the doona on, but you certainly need it these nights.
It's out in the western suburbs, got down near 0. Knoll. McInerney, he was tackled as he handballed it, only gave it to Jacob Allison. Quick kick forward, rebounds, and ricochets off to Bastanak, then hits the leading target of Fullerton. He just dropped what he should have taken, then he's just kicked an up and under, looking for rain. That isn't coming. Wooler. Fullerton as well, just trying to take it without actually grabbing hold of it. Marty, well done to him. That was a young fellow in Geddes involved there. Smart little handball. Griffiths just standing there and just feigning a few times there was Lyons. McInerney, well done. McKellar, Stoddart just turns back around, pivots, and then just sizes up a target. Doesn't go the required distance, so Bell and Stoddart just whacks. Stoddart using his pace to get out of trouble, and Rowbottom just holds on to the mark. So just extricating here. Kilpatrick down the line, and that is the turnover that Brisbane was searching for. Eagles is the man that takes it, kicks it back in board. Payne on the bounce, he just gathers it, gives it to Walker, goes laterally and finds Allison. So they'll come out to that outer side yet again, over the top to Payne. Back to Allison. Just trying while they build up. Left foot, looked awkward. Stoddart couldn't take the mark. Row bottom, just manhandled in the contest, but gets up and goes again. Noel puts on a tackle on a player that wasn't there. Indiscriminate handball comes out from the Swans, and Allison again, racking up the numbers. Good defensive work from the Swans here. Marty looking for the big boy. Noel couldn't take it. McInerney. McKellar. Gadden. And they're just messing around here. Something's going to happen here if they don't get it out. McInerney. Bell. Again, a little short one. Finds Zach Foot. Haven't seen much of him so far today. Goes out wide. Here's Rose. Bastanak just gets in front of him. Just holds him up. Rose goes to the outside. Now to Brewer. Ball inside. Pushed off the footy was Payne. Now to Hurst. Hurst with the left foot. Puts it up for big Darcy Cameron. Over the top of Josh Walker. A little bit of height. It wasn't pretty down the other end of the ground, but they got there in the finish, the Sydney Swans, Bob.
They did. Well, when they've been coming out of the back line, they've just been kicking it long and high, and Walker, Eagles, Payne and these and the Ilk have been just mopping it up. But this time they kept their vision lower. I think it's been a coaching plan from Jeremy Laidler at half-time. Run the ball, use your hands. And great work, Cody Hurst. That was a brilliant bit of play against Payne to get it to Cameron.
Darcy Cameron, he's already kicked one in the second quarter for the first goal of the second half, and it goes the Sydney Swans' way. 2 for Darcy Cameron. And after 5 minutes of this third quarter, the margin is back to 42 points. In fact, it's 43. Just took all my shoes and socks off and used all my fingers and toes there, and I still couldn't quite get it right. 43 points to margin. And good work there by a lot of the young boys involved in the play there. Namely, McKellar, Kilpatrick, Hurst involved there, the draftee, the mid-season draftee as well, and of course the likes of Stoddart and Bell and McInerney as well.
Yeah, well, that's what they've got to do, don't they? Get their hands on the footy and run it. They've got a little bit of leg speed, and Hurst showed it then.
Might come away again. No, it's tied up in the middle. There's a free kick on the play. Which way will it go? It will go the Sydney Swans' way. Might have been for a throw or a legal disposal. And the free kick will go the way of Sam Wicks. Wicks' little one finds row bottom. Goes out wide. Has Marty out there. Kicks it long. He'll look for the big, tall Timber. Payne was there for Brisbane. Starcevic just pirouettes out of the play there and only managed to kick it to Barkley. So Rory Barkley just chips it back in the middle centre square. Finds Zach Foot. Short one. Has McKellar. He's lost his footing but gains it again. Goes back to Barkley.
You can see it's been a certain plan, hasn't it, with go short, don't kick it long, kick it short and have player leading up at you.
It's Lachlan Swaney. Eastern District's, East Sydney Footy Club there. Skinner couldn't take the mark. A nice handball just fed back. That was from Hurst. And the kick. And that'll be a free kick going the way of Eagles, but the kick from Swaney. So Eagles will just be asked to come back on his. In fact, it was 50 metres going inside the protected area against Kilpatrick. Well, that'll bring Eagles down past the centre circle or the centre side of the ground. Griffiths. And nice little ball. Just measured it nicely and finds Toby Wooler. Inside forward 50. She shoot it here, Bob.
Going to be a tough kick from that pocket. Breeze coming right to left. But yeah, look, distance-wise, I think he'll just about get there, but tough shot.
For mine, he needs to start at the right goalpost. Got a good view of this on NEFL TV, thanks to our broadcast partner, Bar TV. In fact, he doesn't go for goal, he just sits it up. Went to the top of the square. And Berry ended up being the jumper there. McFadgen was in there as well. Ball ricocheted. Amati picked it up first. Berry lays the tackle through Stoddart's legs. He just tries to feed it back. And then Cutler got the quick kick away, but errant it was, in direction at least. And the margin back out to 44 points with that behind. And Stoddart brings it out quickly. And Rowbottom just whacks. And then just about gone. Yes, the umpire says that. Stoddart and Rowbottom just try to run the ball out. And it was Bastanak who got the first tackle, and then Berry finished him off.
Yeah, good work, Thomas Berry. He did some great work in underneath there in the goal square in that last passage of play too. And we saw him take a nice overhead mark. He's a developing youngster, and Greater Western Victoria Rebels last year had a few injuries. Good stock, isn't it, with the older brother Jared. So they've got a couple of players there for the future there, the Lions. Comes
in and made the goal umpire do a fair bit of work, and too much as far as getting a goal signal is concerned. Margin out to 45 points. See what the Swans can do here. Rose for the big boy and Cameron. That's a nice mark. Makes it nicely. Need more of that in terms of those kicks down the line where they just need to stand up. Cameron up towards Big Noel. Over the top. Starcevic just crashed him. Hinge. Little ball finds Matt Eagles. And he just launches it towards McFadgen. And the spoil came from Armadi. A little bit of push me, shove you. Would I be right in saying that Connor McFadgen doesn't mind a bit of that stuff generally?
Well, he's got the physique, hasn't he? But yeah, look, just got to concentrate in the footy, Connor. He hasn't had much of the footy today.
Wooler just over the top of it. He might be in a bit of trouble here unless he tries to get it out. Umpire says no prior up. So Cumberland picks him up. Ball 30 metres from the Lions' goal. No clear winner of the ruck contest. Armadi gets it out. Ball came from Geddes. And ball spills off hands and legs over the boundary line.
They've stopped the bleeding, haven't they, the Swans? The different game plan has worked in some way. They've had 2 points since half-time. The Lions in 11 minutes. I can remember they would have had 4 or 5 goals in the first quarter at that stage.
Well done there by the big boy. And Noel gets it down. They got the clearance. Eagles, Madden, Coleman, back to Eagles. Player down for the Swans. Middle of the ground. Will Martin, son of Andrew Martin, former Windsor Zilmia player. Good player he was, centre-half forward. Fullerton, down inside forward 50, Skinner. He was had front spot, but infringing was a Lions player. And it was Martin there who won the free kick, although his kick didn't quite go where he wanted to. Berry. He just ran around a few. Marty lunged at him, but he managed to get past. And it is Tommy Berry who kicks Brisbane's first goal for the second half and extends that margin back out over 50 points, 51 to be exact.
Yeah, well, Tommy Berry didn't trust his snap on the left side. He'd missed a couple of probably easier shots in front of goal, set shots. And he thought, well, I'm not going to mess this one up. I'm going to run in and make an absolute Monty of it. And did just that as he ran off the field, have a breather. But, yeah, good effort. He's been prevalent throughout the day, Thomas Berry. And a good developing young player, as I said, taken with, I think, pick 36 in the draft last year.
Just notice Connor Ballenden on the bench. Alan Christensen not participating in the second half. He's had a shower, so he might be the emergency for tonight for the Lions. And Connor Ballenden has his right ankle all iced up, so you'd suggest he will play no further part in the game. It's a blocking free kick, and then Wooler takes the mark. Good lead, good set of hands from the Basnack kick. He gives it off to Jacob Allison. He loves these, although that one's smothered by McKellar. Well done by him. Joyce, Allison, his handball misses the target. They'll try and come away. That was Martin for the Swans. And then Brandon Starcevich takes a very nice mark indeed. Good contested mark. Haven't seen much of him. Well, chipping ball finds Tom Fullerton. Kicked 2 goals against the Swans in the round 5 clash. That was a push in the marking contest. That'll go against Skinner. And go the way of... We'll just pick that up. I thought it would go the way of Van Hooset, but it might be Van Hoosted.
Yep.
Big boy, big sizable boy he is too. Good frame, he'll develop. And Josh Walker takes a nice contested mark for the Lions. At half forward he is. Man on mid of the ground, Payne it is. Goes out wider. Has Hinge there. Well, chipping ball finds Lions. Plenty of players back. And Joyce just finds that little bit of space. So they took the ball from the outer side back to the commentary side of the ground and then just found that little bit of space that Joyce could run into. Good play by the Lions.
Yeah, they had 3 Swans players there. They were Foot, Rose, and who was the other one? Ronke, I think it was. All just guarding space, and Tommy Joyce split right between the 3 of them and has a set shot from 35. He's kicked a couple. Can he make it 3?
So Joyce, not his best effort, pulls it to the near side. 2 goals, 2 for Tom Joyce now. 13 possessions, 6 marks. Stoddart brings it back in, finds Rowbottom. It's been the staple diet just about every kick in they've had so far. Not sure where to go though now. So Rowbottom just goes long, looking for the tall timber. Eagles. That's a very nice mark floating across the front of the pack. Up quickly. Back in board. Gives it to Starcevich. They have Allison on the far side. He can load up. Goes long with the ball. That's right to the goal square. And just offline.
Had 2 chances like that in this quarter, hasn't he, Jacob? And first one was smothered by McKellar, and that one left to the stick. He had one like that in the first quarter, and we, as you picked it, Kanga kicked it beautifully from 55 on the run.
53 points now, the margin. James Rose has the ball. Well done there by Hurst. Just want to see him in a bit of open space to just see his jets that he's got. Brewer, Rowbottom, Bell. Towards the big boy Cameron over his head. Wicks and Eagles do battle, and Wicks just ran straight into the back of Eagles. Kilpatrick and also Starcevich play a little bit of soccer there as Wicks comes in to bustle Starcevich over the line with the footy.
He'd be glad just to get through this one, Starcevich. He's missed a lot of games, I think 8 or 9 weeks for hamstring injury, so be happy to get through.
Manhandled was Fulton by Darcy Cameron. Inside forward 50 it goes. Kilpatrick, dangerous spot. Knowles got his hand on it, but Eagles was there. Won't be paid the mark, and nor should he have been. So, stalemate. So, Michael Knoll. Well done to him there. Applying the pressure, flying the flag. Fullerton, just with the reach over the top. Comes out the back. Kilpatrick round the corner. Well done by Kilpatrick. And the young man from the University of New South Wales, the Bulldogs out there, kicks a goal. And that is the second one for the Swans in this quarter. Just narrows the margin to 47 points. Well done there. And good work there by Noel in the first instance to keep the ball alive and tie the ball up. But well done by Connor Kilpatrick.
Yeah, Cooper Kilpatrick. Yeah, he was the one that actually won the ball over here on the boundary line to centre the ball towards where that marking contest took place. So he's butted up and nice snap. Started his footy playing at Ramsgate Rams, RSL, before he went to the University Bulldogs.
Called him Connor then. I do apologise. We'll start again. No doubt he'll be watching his family, so apologies there. Row bottom gets the clearance. They come out. Eagles with a big, just crunches the pack there. The Lions will take it away. Coleman. Eagles again. Back from creating a bit of carnage. Tommy Berry just got on the end of that one. Wasn't the prettiest left foot from Eagles, but found its target. Up high. Noel went high, but couldn't bring it down. Well done there by Basnak. Feeds it to Lyons, who in turn gets it to Fullerton. So Fullerton, still 55 metres out. Not confident in himself there, so he's looking for a target. There's Wooler off to his left, but he decides to just take a little bit of extra time. Lines it up. Right to the goal line. Cutler was there. It was a good leap. Cumberland's there at ground level, trying to extricate the ball. There's a couple of Swans are there just to make sure it gets killed off at least. And Brewer and Noel. Uncontested Noel. And then coming through was Cumberland. He just kicked it to the wrong side of the post. Noel put it right down his throat. He nearly swallowed it.
Yeah, well read from Noah Cumberland. Just onto his preferred foot and just couldn't get it back around the post. But well read to get that tap down from Noel.
McInerney brings it back in. Oh, Bell drops what he should have taken there. Gives it back to McInerney. Going to try and work his way through. Does it well. A good set of wheels he had there. And finds a little ball there with Paul. Now to Zach Foote. That left foot probably wasn't what he intended, but it found Stoddart, kicked it into the man on the mark. In fact, it wasn't Stoddart. I do apologise there. We'll pick that up in a minute. Here's Kilpatrick again. And that's another one for him. It was Tom Tyson involved. And he had the first kick smothered, but he got it back and got involved again. And it's Kilpatrick. That's two in about 3 or 4 minutes for him. The margin back to 42 points now.
Yeah, well, look, obviously it's been a plan and a structure change from the Swans to just get the ball, chip it short, keep moving it, and it doesn't matter, just keep leading at the ball carrier. And they've done it well. That was a good bit of play. That's probably their best bit of play all day, and it came from beautiful run and carry. You look at him as a quarterback there, Justin McInerney, the way he sliced through from, I think he did the kickoff initially, so a really nice run and carry from him, and that's what the Swans, they've got those players, Foote, Hurst, McInerney, Wicks, they're all very quick of foot. Bell's another one. So that's the one way they can test the Lions is by fleet of foot.
14 disposals for McInerney now. Ball tied up in the middle of the ground. Leading possession getters for the Swans, just James Rose has 20 disposals. Row bottom has 18. Allison has 20 for the Lions. They'll go into attack. That's at man Rose. Eagles comes out to meet the ball for the Lions, though. He'll try and bust through, take it with him. Goes again, paddles it between the legs. Berry just dispossesses Swans' opponent. Ronk can't take it. Basnak involved, and Berry goes again in there as well with Johnny Paul. The ball up, just right near the true centre-half forward area.
Yeah, battering ram there, big Matty Eagles. He ran through very quickly. Ooh.
It suggests he enjoys that part of the game, the physicality. Madden. Skinner couldn't quite handle it. Hurst is there. Can't quite find a target. Ravel. That was clever. Gets it back to Skinner, but he couldn't quite handle it under the heat. Joyce, fresh air shot. Ravel goes again. Cumberland in there. And well done there by Wicks. And also Geddes. Just a little bit of more intensity there from the Swans around the contest, which is good. Good to see. They are well adrift, though. Still 42 points in arrears. McKellar, good tackle by him. And just making sure he tries to pin his opponent there. Just getting a little bit of psychological work there. McFadgen, the man underneath there. Noel. It's got it down, but Cumberland. Little ponytail hanging out the back of his taped head. Noel, McInerney, Wooler. Stalemate yet again.
Well, they have. That's what they've done this quarter, haven't they? They haven't allowed the Lions to break from these stoppages and set their play up with their run and carry. So good work from the Swans.
Skinner just got it from the contest. Well done there by Joyce. Now to Wooler. Now to Will Martin. He's still 53 metres out. Just finds the lead of Tom Fullerton. Just in front of Riley Stoddart. And Fullerton, haven't seen a lot of him so far. The boy from Caloundra on the Sunshine Coast. Was played in the NBL with the Brisbane Bullets. Back to footy late last year after a long absence. Very talented teenager. From 40 metres, lines them up and hits the post. Been a bit errant this quarter. 1 goal, 6 the Lions. The Swans have kicked 3 straight, Bob.
Yeah, well, they haven't been going as direct, have they? And spotting up targets. The Swans have put a lot more pressure on the ball carrier, and it's showing on the shots at goal. 1-6.
McInerney tries to get as much distance as he can. Skinner just impacts Cameron enough. Gadden got the ball away. Madden. Eagles. Probably lucks of fortune with the handball. Allison and Bastanak. Then to Griffiths. Has his kick smothered. Cutler's involved. Allison is involved as well. Good tackle by Rowbottom. Emerging with it was Zach Foote. Well done, chain of handballs. Hurst. Bell couldn't quite handle it, so the Lions should mop it up. And there by Griffiths to Will Martin to Walker. They go out wide. Corey Lyons is there. Just gets the run of it now on the true outer wing. McFadgen's the target. Just got rid of his opponent there reasonably easy. Took a good contested mark. It was Brewer. And then the kick. Couldn't quite find Berry. Skinner as his kick smothered by Brewer. Well done. Darcy Cameron. Round the corner. They've got the numbers here, the Swans. Rose takes a mark and says, I'm out of here. Let's try and get it down the other end. Kilpatrick can't get a hold of that one. Eagles just mopping it up. Quick back to his feet was Allison to receive the handball, and he gets it off to Bastanak. He's controlling play. And then Skinner comes out on the lead and takes a mark. They worked hard, the Swans, but just that experience, and they just can't quite break that line, that kick out of defence. They just can't quite get it over the back very often just to relieve as much pressure.
Yeah, they've always had that one big tall back there, the Lions, to sort of an extra number. But at least the shots at goal that they're forcing the Lions to go wide up forward. And this is a tough kick from Skinner.
He's kicked one already today. And he starts it nicely. That's right on line. You see it on NEFL TV. A ripping goal. 2 for Skinner. And the margin pushes back to 49 points in favour of the Lions. They've held sway, but the scores are actually level in this third quarter. The Swans have kicked 3 straight. The Lions have kicked 2 goals, 6. So the halftime margin is maintained. Yeah,
well, I think Jeremy Laidler at halftime would have said to the Swans players, well, let's have tiny steps here in the second half. Let's have a target of maybe winning a quarter, and they're not far off doing it. As you said, straight kicking 2-2 to 3-2 to 3 goals to 2-6. So, but they're in the contest at least. But that was a beautiful kick from Skinner, wasn't it? He's an improving player, and yeah, great to see him come back from so unfortunate 3 knee recos.
Underway again. Not long to go in this third quarter. Lions outpointed by Rose, although he couldn't take it away. Fullerton involved. Rowe bottom tackled by Joyce, but manages to get to McInerney. Rose and McInerney wax there, lyrical. And the little chipping ball. Yeah, that finds Van Hoosted. Zach Foote just gives it off to Tyson. Dangerous kick in the middle. Skinner. Good spoil. Coming through, Will Martin feeds it back. Joyce opens it up for the Lions. Allison. Off to McFadgen. He's got room to move. Looking for the lead and finding it. Cutler. So Cutler now held up as the numbers push back inside forward 50. And Swans pushing back hard. Just kicks it long. Skinner was the target. Amati's there. Gives it off. Wicks involved. And that kick is not a good one. Only finds Corey Lyons. And then he decides to hang on to the ball. He feigned to go inboard. 3/4 time siren. Interesting kick in the sense that if he does score, the Lions will have outscored the Lions here, the Swans again.
Yeah,
the Swans have been valiant.
Tough kick. There hasn't been many goals kicked from that pocket all day, so you wouldn't slot it in for a certainty, but he should score from there.
He kicks it from 49 metres. He gives it all he has. It's across the face, so no score. So the Swans and the Lions just level out. Just cross each other out in that quarter. And the half-time margin remains 13-15, 93 Brisbane. And the Sydney Swans at 7-2-44. A much better quarter from the Sydney Swans, but not quite going to be catching the Lions unless something very dramatic happens. Bob?
Yeah, well, it's not going to happen. But certainly, as we said, Laidler would be happy with the fact that they've stopped the bleeding and they've started to play the way they want to play and stop the Lions with regard to impacting the scoreboard. So good effort from them. Some of their younger players stood up and had a crack, which is good. I thought Rose and McInerney stood up that quarter as well. Even the boy Riley Stoddart down back had copped a heavy head clash in the first quarter and then the ribs in the second. Showed some courage and he was good back there for them. And look, they changed their methodology, going very short and moving the ball by hand a lot. And they did a lot better, didn't they? They've halved the quarter, which is a win in some ways for the way the first half unfolded. So well done to them. But yeah, the Lions unassailable lead at this stage.
Yeah, one key stat I think has really levelled out is the clearances. It's actually 26-24 Brisbane's way. It was, I think it was 19-9 or something. It was very one-sided at one stage. James Rose, he's had 7 clearances, 8 marks and 23 disposals. So in and around that contest, he's been very prominent. Rowbottom's had 18. McInerney, you mentioned him as well, 16 disposals and Stoddart 15. For Brisbane, 23 disposals to Jacob Allison, 8 marks and a couple of goals, a couple of inside 50s there as well. Ryan Bastanak, 20 disposals for him. Lyons has had 19. Cutler has had 18, hasn't seen that much of the footy in this second half. And Toby Wooler and Eagles have had 17 in the back half. We might take a bit of a break, a 3/4 time. The coaches will talk to their respective charges, and we'll be back. Thanks to NEFL TV. Thanks to our broadcast partner, Bar TV. It's the Lions by 49 points at the last change. And the players take their positions for the commencement of the last quarter here at South Pine Sports Complex. It's the Brisbane Lions in this round 9 NEAFL clash by 49 points at the last change. 13-15-93 to the Swans at 7-2-44. Mark Kennedy joined by Bob Batty. And we'll get Bob's comments in just a moment, but let's get to the action. Skinner gets it down for the Lions and then goes after his own ball. Bastanak, Joyce, out towards Hinge. Long kick inside forward 50. Marty was there, but just coming in and getting involved there in the first instance was Brewer. Fits the ball, runs over the boundary line. Bob, Swans were far better in the third quarter, but the Lions have just held sway right from the get-go.
Yeah, look, they're too powerful all over the ground, and they've curtailed them in that third quarter. Let's see what they can do in the last, Sydney.
Rose with clearance number 8. Stoddart with possession number, get that one, wasn't his best, number 16. Doubted myself there. Ball out of play. Half back for the Swans, out of side.
Well, when you consider he's probably off for most part of the first half with a nosebleed in the first quarter and ribs in the second, he's probably done pretty well to get that many.
Noel got it down. Rose has his kick smothered, and then Skinner went the other way. Paul. Now Stoddart, he was just spun out of one, and then Berry just was there, Johnny on the spot, and just laid it into him. Tackle-wise, that is. Move the ball quickly. Cutler at the back. Ball at ground level. Goes again. And Fullerton happy to see the ball over the boundary line. They'll have a stoppage inside their forward 50.
Yeah, probably a bit disappointed with that, the kick in from Berry there. They had 3 big tools there. Fullerton was one. Cutler was another. Can't think of the third one, but they had a chance to mark that.
Marty, front spot. Line can't get it down. McInerney off to the young man in Geddes. Under pressure. Coleman's there for Brisbane. And just Fullerton just stole the ball almost. It just fell into his arms. Had a quick shy at the goal and was offline, one behind, so half century is the lead. That's 50, Bob, just in case you weren't aware.
Yeah, I've made plenty of those, Kanga, with the cricket willow.
Ball out towards Noel. Payne it is, feeds it back. Walker, Madden. A chipping ball inside the centre square. Fullerton now, they'll just go wider again. Hinge, on his favoured left. Finds a target and Berry. Pirouettes quickly. And then McKellar. He just wanted to tow it in front of him and made too good a contact. Out of bounds on the full.
There's one last night when the Richmond North Melbourne game where it was kicked in mid-air and Ray Chamberlain copped a beauty right in the mid-decks.
The Cobbs, I think, was the terminology that Brian Taylor used.
The Cobbs?
The Cobbs. Wooler takes the mark there. We just get back to that one. I think he might have meant the cobblestones.
Oh,
perhaps.
right, I'm with you.
That's the only thing I could think of.
It's a BTism.
So Toby Wooler, he's got the ball. It's been active today. 17 disposals, 7 marks. 1 goal, 1 so far. Lines them up. 45-degree angle. Looks on line. It is 2 for Wooler. And the margin now out to 56 points early in this last quarter. Some 3.5 minutes played. We bring up the century and do the Brisbane Lions 14-16. And a little bit inaccurate with their kicking. Courtesy of that 2-goal, 6 third quarter. But and again, Wooler, we talked about it off air, Bob, at one stage, perhaps at half time. He must be getting close to a game, but where does he slot in the Brisbane Lions outfit? He's probably just not quite that tall to be that hit-up target to help Eric Hipwood out. Where do you see?
Yeah, that's probably his role across half forward in that sort of role, but just needs to, look, he's got the endurance, just need to get that leg speed just a little bit more at that next level up.
Skinner just didn't quite get the run of the ball, but down to Noel. Kilpatrick gives it to Rose, and he just launches it right to the square. It's a free kick. It's a holding decision going the way of Walker. And it was big Darcy Cameron that is going to be penalised there. Walker asked to play on now. Finds Tom Griffiths. Out of his father, Lyndon. Good man. Former president of the Coolum Breakers Junior Footy Club on the Sunshine Coast. There's a blocking free kick. Legal Shepherd go the way of Joel Armadi. How do you see his development, Bob?
Yeah, look, a little bit stagnant, I'd say, this year. He's showed some signs, Sandringham Dragons boy. Showed some signs last year as a great tackle there from Brisbane's Berry again.
Yep, gets it to McFadgen. Wooler. Now to Berry, under pressure from Armadi. And they've good tackle. Turn the ball over. Ball in the middle of the ground. Stoddart ends up with it. Got it from Swaney. Little kick in the middle. It's not a good one. They turn it over. Lions, little chipping ball, finds Cutler. Plays on quickly. Didn't go the required distance anyway. Kicks it long to the goal square. And hits the post. Hits the padding on the post. Margin out to 57.
Tom Berry with a little bit of an unlikely limp there with after that tackle from Amadi.
Swans out to the outer side. Van Husted picked it up and got unceremoniously dumped by Josh Walker. No harm, no foul, says the umpire. Have a ball up. Half forward flank Lions attack outer side. Noel, we'll give that one to him. Van Husted. Just standing tall there was Payne. Got to Cutler. Didn't make it easy for him because he had to stand under it, but did enough to hold on to it. Strong lad, particularly through the shoulders. Off to Ravel. Chipping ball finds Coleman. So the Academy boys combine there. And the good skills of Ravel find the silk of Coleman.
Had a great season, hasn't he, Kadeen Coleman, playing both as a defender and a forward for Mitch Hahn's NEFL team this year and been part of every one of their victories.
He's kicked one. He kicked the first goal of the game and he's kicked another one today, 2 for him. And the margin now out to 63 points in favour of the Lions. And you're right, he's an excitement machine, Kadeen Coleman. We've seen him from the back half, as you mentioned. We've seen him kick some very exciting goals. And he looks right at home at this level. And he's got to be a draft chance and certainly one that the Lions will look at.
Oh, no doubt on his performances this year. He's probably, even if I know that they've had a full list to pick from the Lions, but on his form, he'd be one of the first selected by Mitch Hahn. He's played his role every week and been silky smooth.
Ball underway again. Rowbottom just tries to palm a few off as his kick smothered though after he and Rose waxed. Starcevic. Rowbottom goes again. Kyle Martin turns it over. There's that man Coleman. Hinge. Feeds it over the top with the left hand. Lions. On chipping ball, that's not a good one. And Van Husted gets it out towards Bell. Cameron, he was there, but just chiming in nicely was McFadgen. Just off the one step, he belts it, looking for a target. Van Husted does well. I'll bring it out. That was Martin for the Swans to the big boy. Darcy Cameron. The kick wasn't great there. Griffiths does well to get in the way. The Lions, though, they can hold on to it. McFadgen to Walker. And it'll come through with Joyce. Chipping ball in the middle of the ground. Fulton, he feeds it back. Madden. Allison. Gets off to Rowbottom. That was a throw. So the Swans will win possession. Well done to Rowbottom there. He's worked hard.
Yeah, just a workhorse, isn't he? He's going to be a player, this kid. He's the nephew of the man we were talking about just before. BT, and was a great player for the Oakley Chargers in their charge up the ladder last year.
He gave it to Rose, and Rose puts it up forward. Noel nearly brought it down. Starcevic just rebounds it, and Jack Payne does well. It's a good aerialist, is James Rose, but just the bigger size of Jack Payne does well.
He's a bulk of a kid, isn't he? He's a massive size and looks a defender of the future for the Lions.
This kick was marked there nicely by Joel Amati. Kick looked awkward, and Payne just couldn't quite hang on to that one, just juggled it over the top. So we'll have a throw in, half forward for the Swans on the commentary side of the ground.
Just footy smarts there from Payne. That's probably another thing to work on for him. Just could have left that one whilst out of bounds on the full end.
Front spot was Cameron. Quick kick from Wooler. Cumberland, good hands, finds Cutler, puts his skates down. Over the top, Amati just backing back. Fullerton just need to attack that, but Amati did very well there. Been better as the game's progressed. Wicks, half back. Short ball, doesn't get to Ronk. And stays in, gets around Bastanak, and then his kick cut off there, or at least punched away by Allison. Rose just shrugs Allison off. Takes a bounce, kicks it right in deep. Big spoil there on that occasion by Payne. Puts it in dispute. Hinge puts it back. Starcevic, he's wrapped up by Kilpatrick. Cooper Kilpatrick. Got that right? We'll have a ball up inside the Swans 50.
Looked like a beautiful kick from Rose to the leading forward there, and shows the pace of the big fella in Payne. He got to punch that one away just in time.
Skinner, just with power, outworked Cameron. Madden. It's a nice mark there by Will Martin. Goes out wide. There's Ravel there. There's Longer. McFadgen. Still 60 metres from goal. Has Coleman over the top. He's worked hard. Gets on the end of it now. And Zach Foote just corrals him enough so he doesn't play on. But this shouldn't be a problem, one would suspect, for a player of Kadeen Coleman's skill level. He's just kicked two for the game, won this last quarter.
Yeah, look, good skills from Martin, who initially had the kick, and Revel to end it up there.
Just leans back on it, but that's 3 for Kadeen Coleman. There's 3 goals in the last quarter for the Lions. And the margin just stretching further out to 69 points now. And we've played nearly 13 minutes of this last quarter.
The 4 players that just touched the ball there for the Lions. Will Martin. You got McFadgen. He would have played a lot of footy with also Bruce Revel and Kadeen Coleman. Those 4 boys all through the Lions Academy would have played together last year. And a lot of games for the Academy and the Allies. And they were found there beautifully, set up a lovely goal.
From the restart, Cameron got it down, but Joyce coming through, got the clearance. Ravel worked his opponent off the ball nicely, and then couldn't quite get away from Riley Stoddart. Good little bit of work there from Ravel. Just didn't quite have the pace to get away from Stoddart, which is no mean feat, just the same. Joyce somehow gets it out. Quick scrambling kick from the Swans, pushes forward out towards the boundary line. I'll be happy for it to go out, and that they are.
He's just a ball magnet, isn't he, little Joyce? He just seems to get to the right spot, get his hand on the footy, and if he's not winning it, he's at least negating it.
Ronk can't get anything effective away. Free kick going to Ronk there. Just holding the man against Joyce on that occasion. Not sure who was going for that, but it ended up being Zach Foote. Marty thought it was going to him for a moment. Right in the middle of South Pine Sports Complex. Beautiful deck out here. On the bounce was Bell. back, and then that's a nice mark. Well, I was going to say it was a nice mark. I thought he took it. But Jack Payne, despite his protestation, umpire rules that it is gone out of bounds.
Yeah, the poor defenders, they get a bad go, don't they, at times? A forward, I think it was a forward taking it like that. Might have been given, but not to be for Jack.
Cameron puts it to the back, was looking for Rose. Joyce feeds it out. Madden, when he finds a bit of open space, he can really go. Although he's gone, I think he went too far, didn't he?
Yeah, he needed to have a bounce or at least get rid of it before about 16 or 17 steps he took then. But he's so quick. He gets over the ground so quick.
Kilpatrick gives it to Stoddart. Lays it up. Gadden couldn't take it. Cumberland just copped one for his trouble, young man. Work it through. Gadden again. Couldn't quite take it with him. Kick smothered. Coleman. And then Fullerton couldn't get it. Martin just tries to bustle it forward as much as anything else. Holding the ball's the call. Couldn't quite work that one out.
Yeah, given an illegal disposal, I think. There's Noah Cumberland gets to his feet and runs towards the boundary. Copped a bit of a one on the chin there. Won't do him any harm. Tough as old boots.
Cutler's kick finds Lyons, was made to work for it, but did well. He in turn found Jacob Allison, settling play down, spreading them out. Ravel, not sure where to go, so now he decides to go back and give himself a bit of room. Goes back inboard, finds Allison. He'd like to run on the arc, and he does so now. Gets a few extra metres and then lobs it in. Dangerous spot. Noel from the back. McFadgen just brought it to ground. McKellar is trying hard to make out like he was trying to get rid of the ball and bluff the umpire beautifully. No intent really to get rid of that. Noel gets it down. The hit out. And ball rebounded by the Swans that only found Allison. And as we've seen, when he's within about this distance, no thought of passing it off because he's a long kick of the footy.
Yeah, he is a long kick. Much better when he's probably on the run with a bit of momentum up, but off a long run up here, if he gets a Ben Brown run up, he'll go pretty close. Looks pretty tired though, taking the big deep breaths.
So he's going to have to kick this 55, you'd suggest. And gives it plenty. Gives it plenty, does he? What? That went 60 easily over the goal umpire's head. Jacob Allison. That is 3 for him for today. And the Lions, they extend the margin. It's not bad as a one would in your bag, is it, Bob?
No, that's a power Big Bertha driver, that one. That's, as you said, probably went close to 60 and had a great month of footy, Jacob Allison. Knocking the door down to try and get a game with Chris Fagan's senior team. He won't do himself any harm kicking him from that distance.
11 marks today. He's got a clearance, 6 inside 50s, 3 rebound 50s, 3 goals, 1 for his 26 disposals. Pretty solid day for him. Noel gets it down, nice tap, finds Rowbottom. Long kick, and that's a good mark by Ronk in front of Matt Eagles. And you'd suggest that's the way the ball should come in for them because they just can't let the big boys for the Lions dominate up there. And that's what they wanted.
Yeah, good kick from Rowbottom on it, but beautiful knock. He set
Noel.
that up. Yeah, Michael Noel set that up for a lovely tap, and Pasternak was looking a bit forlorn there in the middle because it was centimetre perfect to Rowbottom.
Ronk made the goal umpire work a little bit, but it's a goal for him. He kicked one in the first quarter and he's followed it up with one in the last. Hasn't had a big influence on the day. I think he had 7 or 8 first quarter disposals and he's just pushed up to 16 for the game. He's had 4 clearances and now 2 goals to his name as well. So the margin back to 69 points in favour of the Lions. 19 and a half minutes gone of this last quarter.
Been interesting, hasn't it, that third quarter where they definitely tried to slow the game down and chip it around and run the ball. It's gone back out to this free-flowing last quarter, and they've been bust open again by the Brisbane Lions. So that's the only time all day that they've gone quick and long into the forward line and actually got a goal.
Away again. Walker in the ruck now. They've had options. Bastanak feeds it forward. Walker got on the end of it. Kicks it long. Fullerton. Oh, I tell you what, hitting the deck hard there was the Swans player. We'll pick that up in a minute. Coleman just feeds it back. McInerney just interjects there. Goes again. And on there, almost a high shot the Swans' way. McInerney's absolutely pile drive by Skinner. Fullerton couldn't find a target, and coming away was Wicks. Wicks puts it out into the path of Kilpatrick. Taps it, gathers it. Bounces, goes to ground. Up again he goes. It's away from McFadden. Up towards the forward 50. Eagles just pats the ball down, hoping for some crummers. And then Hinge lays a good tackle on Gadden. And the Lions win the ball. Good pressure. Fulton back the other way now. And goes out towards Skinner. The ball hit the deck. So just patting in front of him was Van Housted. And then he's tackled by Skinner. So the turnover comes. Walker. Coleman. Goes out wide. And that's a nice kick inside forward 50. Good delivery. Good poise. And he finds Toby Wooler.
Just a natural footballer, isn't he, Kadeen Coleman? Heading on his left foot there. Connor McFadden within 35 of him on the burst, straight towards him. But his vision was like 2020. He saw out the back of his corner of his eye, Wooler leading to that pocket about 50 out, and gave him the opportunity.
So Toby Wooler take a pretty fair kick to start at this near goal post, I'd suggest. And he just pushed it a bit wide. Didn't quite make the distance in the finish. And mopping it up there was big Darcy Cameron. It's off to Wicks. Bit of junk time now, one would suggest, Bob.
Yep.
Kyle McKellar gets it off. That's Martin. And they just bring it out, although just getting the one hand in and intercepting it was Tom Cutler. So a little bit of sloppery, how bad am I going? Sloppy delivery.
We used to work with him. The old sloppy.
Yeah, good day to David Hilbron. But sloppy delivery in the back half has cost there, and Tom Cutler can line up. He's got 2 goals. Comes in, and that hits the post. They've hit the post a lot today, actually. I reckon that's
been a
about
number of posters, yeah.
4 or 5 times at least that the Lions have hit the post. If it's one criticism of the Lions today, it's 17 goals, 18. Another chance to put a big score on. Noel works hard. Fullerton, though, gets hold of him. Joyce can't handle it, but he goes and follows it up and lays a tackle on Nick Brewer, the boy from North Shore.
That's what I like about that young boy, Joyce. He had the ball smothered, but he got back in and laid the tackle. So, hell's the ball in.
Cameron got it down to row bottom. Couldn't break clear, but Rose just handballed into space, and then Bell runs onto it, takes a bounce. Not sure what he was doing with that handball there. Cumberland comes back. He's dispossessed. Ravel. And then Jack Payne just tries to get it out of the way. Can't do so. Bell again. Wicks. Gets it off to Tyson, who was involved earlier. Little ball. Ronk was expecting the contact, and then probably just didn't brace himself well enough to actually take the mark. He was bracing for contact.
Yeah, he sort of outmuscled him in the end, didn't he? He was expecting the contact, didn't arrive, and good work, Matthew Eagles.
Just out of mid-air. Didn't go the required distance. Cumberland gets it forward. Skinner. Little feeding handball to Wooler. Now to Berry. The foot race is on here. I'll see the big and the not so big. McKellar does well against Fullerton. Bit too tall and lanky. Fullerton to win the foot race at this point. Ravel over the top. Lions just tried to spend it before he got it. Ravel again. Feeds the ball inside. Did well, the young man. McFadden High ball. And a good spoil there from Zach Foote, as Cutler was the man coming in to try and get the both mitts around it. Out of bounds it is.
Yeah, got clean skills, Ravel, hasn't he? When the ball's in his air, he doesn't fumble. And doubled up, got 2 or 3 possessions in a short space of time there.
So closing minutes of this game, 25 minutes gone. 70 points the margin. Amati in the ruck. Martin goes down to Brewer involved there as well. The kick further afield. Payne. He's wrapped up by Ronk. Ball spills out. And we will have a throw in right in front of this NEAFL commentary position. Thanks for joining us this afternoon here on NEAFL TV. Thanks to our broadcast partner, Bar TV. Want to see some young up-and-comers in action and some established AFL stars, either on their way back or trying to put themselves back in AFL selection. Stoddart, Rose. On hands and knees, Rowbottom and Rose. Just interjected there by Bastanak, who's penalised for holding the ball. So Rose will get up, take the free kick. 5 tackles for him now. 30 disposals, 8 clearances, 6 inside 50s. And the kick there just finds Eagles in defence. He's been a rock back there. And various times he and Walker have really controlled things in the back half. Not sure about that kick though. Just didn't quite find Ravel. Rowbottom was in the way as well. Comes out Wooler. Ravel. The run of it now is Cumberland. Not sure about that handball. He was looking for player. Joyce makes it look good. And then Martin runs onto it. And as soon as he kicked it, he didn't like it, young Will Martin.
Yeah, he didn't straighten up properly, did he? Kicked across the body, but a lot of academy players involved in that passage of play. They've been good again today. They come in, they play their roles, they know their spot in the side and know what to do, and they've done it well again today.
Stoddart to Rose. Not sure where to go. He's probably going to go long down the line, one would suggest. Certainly. Looking for Big Cameron, and then coming in from the side was Jack Payne. It was good work there by Josh Walker just to take the run away from Darcy Cameron, allow Payne to come through.
Been close to BAG from Iron today, Walker. He's just been impassable down there in defence, and it just shows you the team play that he's got in his mind now.
And Berry's kick, just marked by, might have been McKellar back there. Sometimes hard to pick the numbers up on some of these Swans players. Rose, 32 disposals now. Armadi. Closing seconds. Be a comprehensive victory. McKellar. Now to Martin. Just holding on to this. Paulie. And that'll just about be all she wrote. Barkley was there and Paulie has it now. So final siren here at South Pine Sports Complex in this round 9 NEAFL clash. It was a comprehensive victory to the Brisbane Lions by 71 points. It was 17-19, 121 to the Sydney Swans, 8-50. Just major goal kickers there for the Brisbane Lions. It was Jacob Allison with 3, and also with 3 was Kadeen Coleman, and doubles to Cutler, Wooler, Joyce, Skinner, with singles down the line to Berry, and also Christensen and Cumberland there. And for the Sydney Swans, it was 2 apiece to Ronk and Darcy Cameron, and also Cooper Kilpatrick, and then singles to Wicks and the big fellow, Michael Knoll, the mid-season draftee. It was a comprehensive, Bob, the victory, and at inside 50s tell the tale of this game for mine, 65-28. We can go through all the numbers, but that is a damning statistic right there.
Yeah, domination is the way I'd probably summarise it. 36 shots at goal to 10, so probably a 71-point margin is due to the straight kicking of the Sydney Swans. 8 goals too. But a great win. The Lions have been the best team in NEAFL all season so far. That's 8 and zip. Mitch Hahn will be very pleased with the work rate of all 23 contributors here today. And for Sydney Swans, only a couple of little highlights. I'm sure the coach Lather will be happy with the big fella in the ruck, Michael Knoll. He's got through his first game, as young Cody Hurst as well. So, and James Rowbottom, I'd like to give him a mention, and also James Rose. But apart from that, long day in the office for Jeremy Laidlaw and his team, and Mitch Hahn continues this record-breaking start for the season with the Brisbane Lions NEAFL team.
A couple of key stat winners before we sign off. Jacob Allison had 26 disposals for the winners, 11 marks, 6 inside 50s, 3 goals, 1. Tom Cutler had 23 disposals and 9 marks. Same stats as Toby Wooler, 23 and 9 as well. They both kicked 2 goals. Bastanak had 23 also, and Joyce, who I thought was a good contributor, a couple of goals and going with 23 disposals there as well. And James Rose for the Sydney Swans, 33 disposals, 11 marks, 5 tackles, 9 clearances, 7 inside 50s, 5 rebound 50s. Rowbottom had 24 disposals, 7 marks, 3 clearances, 4 inside 50s. Stoddart tried hard down back. He was in the wars early, 21 disposals, 7 rebound 50s, 3 inside 50s. And McInerney, he had 20 disposals for the day as well. Now, Bob, plenty more NEAFL action to come up in the ensuing weeks. The Brisbane Lions, of course, they just roll on, don't they? And they are 8 and blot now. Can you see anybody beating them?
Well, not at this stage. I think if their healthy list stays as it is, they've only got 3 or 4 injuries as we speak at senior level. So all goes well for their season. They're looking strong, playing to a good team plan from their coaching staff, and they're going to be very hard to beat.
Now, next week, the Sydney Swans, they take on the Giants on Sunday, the 9th of June out at Blacktown. And the Brisbane Lions, they have a local derby as well. They play the Gold Coast Suns down at Metricon on Saturday, 5 minutes before midday. Plenty of NEAFL action. Make sure you keep with us here on NEAFL TV. Thanks, everybody, for joining us from South Pine Sporting Complex. On behalf of myself, Mark Kennedy, and Bob Batty, we will look forward to seeing you next time. Good afternoon for now.